Well, I'm finally back home from the Northeast Airgun Classic, otherwise known as NAC. That was about 2,300 miles round trip with the brand new truck and worth every mile. I had the time of my life. I met a whole bunch of awesome people, and I actually performed incredibly well, taking 8th in Pro PRS among some of the greats, and also making bench finals, even though I'm not a bench shooter. And taking out of the 15 people they took to finals, I took the 14th spot. So I am super stoked on my performance there. And while I was there, I walked around and I got interviews with one particular question. It's kind of a two-sided question. And I had a lot of people answer it. I tried to get who I could, but of course it's a tournament, so people are running around and I don't want to bother them too much. But I'll let you see all these interviews, and hopefully this will help both the inexperienced tournament shooters and also even the OG experienced guys can take something from this. And at the end of it all, I'll tell you my spin on the question. But first, watch some of the greats answer this. We've got Matt Dubber here, the legend. We're sitting here at NAC at the 100-yard bench, and I'm going to ask him what are two pieces of advice he would give to part A, a newcomer to one of these big events, and then part B of that question, kind of a dichotomy here, is the experienced guy. What advice would you give him? So let's start with the newcomer.
Sure. So I mean, at one point I was a newcomer, so I know how that feels, and now I'm a bit more experienced, so I think I can probably answer those. I'd say for a newcomer, just enjoy it. Like, if you come out here with like either high expectations, you know, there's always a chance you can get disappointed, or if you come out thinking that you don't stand a chance, actually you do stand a chance. In my experience, some of the guys who are more laid back and don't put pressure on themselves tend to actually do better, especially with bench, where it's about keeping your mind clear and just, you know.
And for me, I'm a newcomer coming out here, and everybody's been super accommodating, very helpful. And so I've felt pretty welcome here. And I was, honestly, I was pretty intimidated to come out here. But I think that's the main thing, is just don't be afraid and just jump right in.
Just enjoy it. I mean, that's what this is primarily about. And
100%.
That's one of the reasons I love these competitions so much, is that it's people are having fun. It's not this like, I mean, I grew up shooting 10-meter shooting, like 10-meter Olympic shooting. And that's, the fun factor isn't there. It's all about, you know, it's very serious. And that's not sustainable. Like, this is fun. So that, I mean, yeah, for new shooters, that'd be my advice. Perfect. And for guys who are very experienced, I mean, I'd say just chill out and try and enjoy it, because sometimes when you're more experienced, you put pressure on yourself, and you feel like everyone expects you to just dominate and do well, and that's not. I mean, it makes it less fun for everyone else. So yeah, I guess it's kind of the same. Just enjoy it. Come out here, have fun. If you do well, if you do well, you do well. If you don't, you don't. But that's not the point. Yeah,
exactly, man. And that's kind of why I played 27 years of paintball, and I kind of stopped having fun. And also, I'm 37 now, so but I'm having fun here. So thank you, Matt.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
All right, I got Chris Turek here from Up North Air Gunner, and we have been going around getting some advice from everybody who is somebody. And Chris, what is your two pieces of advice? And here's the double-sided question. Piece of advice for newcomers who maybe want to get their feet wet in airgun competition, come into something like this. And then part two is, what advice would you give an OG who has tons of experience, who is still coming to these events?
Awesome. Yeah, you know, that's awesome. It's so nice meeting you in person, man.
Absolutely.
And I will just say, coming to events like this, I'm going to deviate from your questions a little bit, give you a little bit more content.
Yeah.
But like, hey, meeting like fellow air gunners and making friendships is what makes this the most fun.
Dude, I'm already having a blast. Go out and meet your internet buddies and the internet guys you've been watching forever on YouTube.
And definitely check out this dude's channel, because some of the content he has been creating is awesome. And actually, Dan Carpenter behind the phone, check out his stuff. All right, so the first question, if you are new, I actually still consider myself pretty new to competitive shooting, all right?
Okay, me too.
I know everybody's like, oh, when did you start air gunning? And everybody gives the same story. Ever since I was 8 years old, blah, blah, blah.
With my Red Rider.
My Red Rider. Everybody gives the same answer, right? So, okay, we can assume everybody has been exposed to air gunning at some point in their life, right? Competitive shooting, I will tell you, you can make it as hard or as easy as you want it to be. And I personally take the path of making it easy. And what I mean by that is stay out of your own head. All right.
I think we've heard another answer similar to that from some of the other people we've interviewed. Very good advice.
Yeah. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't worry about that you're shooting against some of the best competition shooters in the world. So I played competitive golf in college. That was actually my cool thing. I had a scholarship, and they teach you were playing against the course. You were not playing against the other 3 dudes in your foursome.
Exactly.
And that's what basically when I come out here, it's me against that target.
And yourself,
myself, right? and I try to do a little bit better than the last time that I came out. And every conditions change, man. So it's like how I shot at Pyramid Cup in 2019 or how I did at RMAC. You got to treat every competition like it's the first time out, but you just try to do better and learn something each time.
Yep, and that's like almost echoing exactly what me and Dan have talked about repeatedly. Okay, so good advice for the new guys.
Yeah.
What about the legends, the OGs, the experienced guys? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I don't know so much advice I would give them, but I think I would ask of them is to share what you know. You know, there's
perfect. What a gem.
You know, there's just so much that they have learned. And keeping all that information to yourself, let's say if you've got a custom tune, you've got some type of mental practice you go through, share that with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and don't be afraid that just because you share your secrets that somebody's going to come in and be able to beat you, because if they beat you because they were a better shooter on that day.
Facts. Also, you know, they might have just there's a lot of luck involved, like in a 100-yard bench rest.
Yeah.
You might be in the first relay with no win, and then it might pick up, you know, so you never know.
Yep.
So, but the good thing is with all these guys out here, I don't have the attitude of it's like me against them or anything. Sure. I think everybody mostly out here, to your point, has been completely like accommodating. Oh, nice to meet you. Everything. So, so really good advice from Chris Turek.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow his channel, Up North Air Gunner, and we'll continue with the interviews as we go around.
Awesome. All
right. Here I've got Nikolai from the RusBear channel. He has won a ton of stuff in the past, so we decided to pick on him for our questions today. So that's going to be one piece of advice for a new shooter coming to one of these deals, and one piece of advice for a seasoned guy. What would you say for the new shooter?
So the only thing you need is practice. Practice, and practice. That's all. Have your gun, have your pellets if you shoot bench rest, have your slugs if you shoot PRS, and practice regularly. That's all you need. You've got to love what you do, and that's all.
That is a very practical answer for sure. All right, what's one piece you would give to the experienced guys coming out here?
I think that experienced guys can give advice for me. Really?
Okay. What a humble guy. What a humble guy. Hey, check out his channel. It's called RusBear. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. On YouTube, check him out. And thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good luck. All right. I got a good friend of the channel here, Tim Swan. Tim does a lot of the harmonic tuners. Why don't you, before we get into your questions, let's tell the guys about the tuners and stuff.
Well, I designed a tuner to go over the shroud and not attached to the rifle, so that you don't have to worry about condensation throwing off your point of impact or the aftershot, what do you want to say, dust,
right?
Whatever.
Right. Yep.
That goes through the rifle.
So it's all external.
It doesn't collect. It's all external, right? And it's very intuitive. You just turn the tuner until you find that node. And you're off to the races.
Yep, turning it like a clock until you find the best group and then just leave it there. So very cool. I have 2 of those myself. They're pretty nice pieces of equipment. You'll see them all over the range. Now you also have a YouTube channel.
I do, and I use it primarily to teach the people how to use the tuner. Also, I use it as documentation as I progress.
Perfect.
Because I'm on Gen 7 right now.
Now, what is your channel called for everybody watching?
Swan Barrel Harmonic Tuners. All you have to do is Google it, and it'll pull it right up.
So subscribe to that for sure. Good channel. He does a lot of, he's super experienced bench shooter. So now getting onto the experienced bench shooter, let's hear your take on a piece of advice for a new guy coming to something like this. And then on the other side of that, what is your piece of advice for an experienced shooter coming to something like this?
Well, you know something? I can say this for both. The new guys, keep it inside the 8s. The older guys like us, keep it inside the 8s.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate
My pleasure. Thank you.
I got Norm Shanley here. We're going to ask him the same 2 questions. So the 2 questions are, what advice would you give to newcomers in the airgun world wanting to come and shoot a competition like this? And then on the other side of that, what advice would you give to an experienced guy coming to an event like this?
Well, to the newcomers, I would say come here with the attitude of trying to learn and have fun. don't come here expecting to win, because you're going to be shooting against these guys that have just been doing this.
Hi, that's me. I'm here to have fun and not win.
Exactly. So if you go and put yourself in too much pressure, you're not going to have fun, number one, and it's going to discourage you. So again, to the new guys that come in here, and it doesn't matter if you got a Marauder or an FX Impact, come here, learn, and have fun.
Yep. Okay, and that's exactly that's like the exact same conversation myself and Kevin behind the camera and Dan have had a bunch of times. Okay, so that's really good advice. We're already having tons of fun.
Yeah.
What about the experienced guys?
Experienced guys, my biggest thing is stay humble. Stay humble and still come here to learn. Like Keith and I, we do a lot of long-range shooting. A lot of people think, oh, these guys are so great. We do a lot of shooting and practicing. But at the end of the day, we're still looking to learn. And again, stay humble. Even if, like, Keith won RMAC a couple years ago. But to look at him, he just doesn't walk around like with his nose in the air and I'm better than anybody else. He's just a guy out there having fun with his air gun and meeting new people and trying to get more people into it.
Right. And we're all in the same community and same hobby.
Absolutely.
So. All right, cool.
And I like to give back. Like, I answer as many questions as I can. I don't ever...
Hey, you're doing this interview right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And
perfect.
I mean, you can't imagine how many questions we get a day.
Yep.
From people, from tuning their guns to what guns to buy. And at the end of the day, like I said, I like getting more people into the sport. And so as much help as I can give to somebody, that's what we try to do. We always tell somebody, just pass it forward,
Absolutely. Yep.
So, yeah, bud.
Words to live by. Norm, thank you. Make sure you check out his channel, 68 Whiskey with Keith over there.
You bet.
And we'll get you some more interviews coming up here.
All right.
I've got Ken Hicks here from SPAW. And we're going to ask him, what is one piece of advice you would give a new shooter coming to airgun events and one piece of advice that you would give an experienced shooter coming to these events? So, Ken, what do you think, man?
Well, first of all, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely. You too. Thank you.
I would say for the new shooter, I would say just get here. Get to one of these events. What you can learn from these salty shooters out here is, you can't beat it, and they're willing to give it up. But come experience it, and then, get an idea. If you want to shoot. But experience it. That way you get an idea of how to approach it the following next competition. But it's all good time. These guys love each other. The best fun I have all years at these competitions.
And this is, for a lot of our guys, this is our first big deal. So that advice definitely rings true with us. All right, so how about the experienced guys?
The experienced
what would you give to them?
Bring your A game. That's all I got to say. They're experienced. They've already experienced, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
So watch out for the experienced shooters. But those experienced shooters will help the new shooters out more than you think they will.
Yep, and that's what we've already seen a little bit so far already. So everybody's been welcoming us with open arms. So, all right, there you go. Ken Hicks, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm here with Justin Jacobson of Utah Airguns, and he's going to answer the same two questions I've been asking everybody, which is really a double-sided question, I guess. What is one piece of advice that you would give to a newcomer coming to one of these events? And what is one piece of advice you'd give to an experienced guy coming to one of these events?
I'd say first-timers, probably just be comfortable with your gear. Whether it be how you sit at the bench, like I have to basically take like a little booster bag anywhere I, shoot bench rest or something, but just to be comfortable, where you're in a comfortable position to shoot. Same with the precision type shooting, like know your gear, like get some stuff ahead of time and work with it a little bit.
What a logical answer. Absolute fundamentals, perfect logical answer. Okay, that is, and sometimes newer guys coming out to these things might be a little frazzled, and maybe they're not putting enough time into thinking about that. So
yeah. And I would say next for the beginner though is, it's great to have the attitude like I'm going to come win, but don't expect much other than like come learn from it. Like whether you do awesome or you don't do that great, like just learn from it.
In the end, it's our hobby, right? So like have fun too, right?
That's what it boils 100%. Down to is like have fun. And I would tell the experienced shooters, whoever has there's tons of good shooters. It's whoever has that focus, like the focus, determination, and obviously putting in the work, but take note, like watch other competitors. You know,
I've been
watch them on glass.
I've been watching like a scout on all of these guys. So.
I mean, even on bench rest, if you're watching on glass and you're up in the next heat, and you see everything trending this way, or there you go.
Awesome, man. Thanks for those answers.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, so there you have it. That's what those guys think. My advice on this is as follows. So for the new shooters, you know, you've seen my videos. I always say use what you got. Even if it isn't much, just get out there and shoot. Set up targets at whatever distances you can and use what you've got. Even if it's kind of janky, that will make you a better shooter. But I talk about that all the time. What I really should say for my piece of advice to the new shooters is just go and do it. Go out there and do it. But before you do head to one of these tournaments or something, really, really dive into it. You have the greatest information tool at your fingertips, which is the internet. You can sit there and watch tons of videos on your different disciplines that you might be interested in. You have tons of forums. Airgun Nation's a great resource for it. You can run through all those forums and just grab all that information and download it into your head. That's what I did. Anything that I get into, I sit there and read as much as I can about it. So other than using what you have and actually just getting out there and doing it, I think for the new guys, the best thing is just continue to read up on things that you're interested in. That way you'll know what to expect when you get there. So like at NAC, even though it was my first rodeo and I was in the pro division, I felt fine because I knew what I was getting into and I knew what to expect when I got there. So that would be my piece of advice for the new guys. And my piece of advice for experienced guys is when you go out to one of these events, make sure you share your knowledge with guys that might have less experience than you, because that's going to help them and continue growing the sport. And I was helped a ton along the way, not just at this event, but just in general with various people, whether in person or online, just having more experience than me and kind of sharing that. One place you can learn a lot, which I did, is local NRL 22 matches. Those guys really helped me, and going to those local matches is something that's going to really prepare you to go to a airgun PRS tournament. So yeah, for the older guys, share the wealth of experience you have, if you have it. And I think that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And thank you to every single person who has supported me, especially FX, taking me on the team now, and High Pressure Pneumatics, and a plethora of other people, Element, Donnie FL, that have supported me, you know, with my endeavors and believed in me. So thank you guys, and everybody who's watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.